Hey everybody, welcome back to another WV Guns and Goats video. We're out here on the range with the new Derya Arms TM22 Flash. We're gonna shoot it a little bit here and then we'll talk about it. All right, so we have the TM22 A18 Flash. We're gonna be calling it the TM22 in this video. And before we get started in this video, as always, go ahead and headbutt that subscribe button to join the herd here at WV Guns and Goats. I really appreciate all you herd members out there who got us over 10,000 subscribers. So let's talk about this little rifle right here. Now, you may have seen this at your local gun shop or a version of this rifle because they were imported by a different company before. But as of the beginning of 2026, Derya Arms is going to be importing these rifles through their Florida branch. So they're going to be handling the manufacturing, as they always made these rifles. They're also going to be handling the importation and after sales support. And they were nice enough to supply this rifle to us for this video. So a big thanks to the people over there at Derya Arms. What we have here is an 18-inch heavy barrel semi-automatic 22 LR rifle, 1/2x28 threading, polymer handguard with M-lock slots. We got a rail here, a full polymer rail on top, and we got a set of polymer flip-up sights that come with this rifle. The receiver is also plastic, as is the buttstock. It is adjustable, as you see right there, and the buffer tube. This gives it a weight of under 5 pounds, so it's fairly light. Now it does come with those sights and 2 of these 10-round magazines. They are single stack magazines, and there are larger capacity magazines available for this rifle. Got a little button mag release right there, and the mag comes out fairly easy. Now let's take a look at the left side of the gun right here. We have our charging handle, and it will lock back when it's empty. However, it is only held back by the magazine. So if you take the magazine out, the bolt is going to go forwards if it's locked back by the magazine there. Then we also have a safety right here. It's a very short throw safety. You can see it just moves just a little bit right there, and up is safe, down is fire right there. We also have a flat trigger, and it feels fairly light when we were using it. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what different 22 LR loads this gun works with. I have heard it does take a little bit of a break-in period before it'll function with every 22 ammo out there. And we're also going to see how accurate this little rifle can be. So let's go ahead and hit the range with it. All right, to start, we're going to shoot some of this Aguila 22 Super Extra 1255 FPS. Should be some pretty hot stuff. Now what we got is some Remington Golden Bullet Bulk Pack. Federal Bulk Pack 22. All right, had one little jam there. Well. We've got Federal Auto Match ammo. All right. Didn't feel like it cycled all the way, but it just didn't pick up another round. That stuff definitely felt a little bit on the lower powered side. Got a little bit of a hotter ammo here, some CCI Velocitors. Oh yeah. Okay, the trigger on this, being a flat trigger, feels fairly light when I'm shooting it. Oh yeah, nice, easy trigger to shoot on there, and the safety, very short throw on that. Let's put some more rounds through it though. All right, there you can see, lock's open, but if we remove our magazine, that bolt's gonna go forwards, but we can lock it back on an empty mag. All right, with these being single stack 10 round mags, well, the higher capacity ones are definitely gonna have some length to them. You'll see them actually here in a little bit. And I think at the end of the day, your fingers might be a little bit sore after you're done loading these if you're doing a lot of shooting with them. Ah, We were going good there, had a JM. Here's the 15 round magazine that is also available. We can see that it's a bit longer than the 10 round there. See how it works. Well, now we're going from long to longest. This is the 25 round mag. I guess if you had a 50 round, it'd probably almost touch the handguard there. Let's see how this one works. Let's see what kind of group we can get here at about 10 yards on the target. Let's try another group. Now this ammo, I believe, is just some standard velocity. It's some target ammo. We'll see how it does. Now with this having a threaded barrel, you know I just had to suppress it. A little anechoic rimfire suppressor. We got some Winchester super suppressed 45 grain bulk pack ammo. Let's see how it sounds suppressed. Well, it kind of really didn't like that ammo, but it still sounded pretty good. Okay, we're here at about 20 yards and we've got it all inside of our lead sled here. We got right on 5 to 25 Conquer scope on there. And then we got some Federal Auto Match, Gecko Match, High Velocity Match, Federal Premium, RWS Target Rifle, Aguila Super Extra Standard Velocity CCI, and some Super Suppressed. So we've already got the Auto Match loaded in the magazine. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some groups with this, and I'll show you the outcome of it here. All right, so what I'm seeing right now is a really accurate group down there. Now I ended up only having 5 rounds of the Gecko ammo, not 10 like I just shot. Something about loading that second round there. Now we got Federal High Velocity Match loaded in here. This is some RWS Target Match ammo. Shot the center out on that one. All right, now we're shooting some Aguila Super Extra. And this stuff is available at a lot of gun shops just as a bulk 22 ammo. Now we got some CCI Standard Velocity loaded in here. And finally, the Winchester Super Suppressed ammo. But how did it do at 50 yards? Well, as you can see, I have 2 groups here I'm going to show you first. Both of these were shot with CCI Standard Velocity. Now, it was a kind of windy day. I tried to wait for the wind to die down in between each shot. We had that flyer there with the CCI. And then these are 2 more groups that were shot at 50 yards as well. CCI Standard on the left and Aguila Super Extra on the right there. Well, there you have it, everybody. A look at the TM22 Flash by Derya Arms. Now, this wasn't without its hiccups. They have said that this takes a little bit of a break-in period, and I've seen that in other creators' videos. about this rifle. And you saw we had some hiccups with it here on the range. However, the more rounds that we put through this gun, the better it started to feed and function. So I think putting even more rounds to this gun, it'll eventually run 100% without problems. When we got to the bench here, if I didn't load the round and give the magazine a little bump, it would have an issue with loading the second round after firing the first round. However, when I gave it that little bump after loading a round, it seemed to have that issue go away. And speaking of shooting this here on the bench, I was really surprised at the accuracy that we got out of this rifle. As this is positioned to be more of a budget-friendly option, I was expecting accuracy more on the lines with being able to hit a soda can downrange at 20 yards. I wasn't expecting to be able to tear the center out of every target with this rifle, and it didn't even seem to matter what kind of 22 ammo that we put through this gun. It was accurate with all different types of 22 LR ammo, even some of the stuff sold more towards the bulk side of things like the CCI standard velocity and this super extra stuff. Even the auto match shot well out of this gun, and in some other 22s it's been one of the least accurate ammo that we've tried, but out of the little TM22 it was very accurate. So I was surprised by how well this rifle did out here once we got past some of those little hiccups you saw there. And this rifle would be a great rifle for a youth shooter or a beginner shooter, or someone who just wants a very lightweight, easy handling rifle, because the rifle weighs under 5 pounds and has a really light trigger. I think that helped contribute to the accuracy that we were seeing out here on the range. So if you want to check these rifles out, the company that makes them is Derya Arms. That's D-E-R-Y-A Arms. You can look them up online, and as always, because prices do fluctuate from vendor to vendor, you'll have to search around to find the best price on this rifle. However, it is positioned more as a budget-friendly option. So everybody, thanks for joining me out here on the range. This has been another WV Guns and Goats video, and as always, if you're not out there having fun shooting, well, what are you doing?